Welcome. Thank you all for joining us for this evening's meeting of the Town Council. We will, after calling it to order, we'll have a Pledge of Allegiance, an invocation, and then our regular prepared agenda. I would like to say thank you to any and all of you that attended the Veterans Day Memorial or covered it this morning. It was a very nice event. The weather was stellar. The music was beautiful. The veterans were in fine spirits, and I was very proud of our community as we celebrated the veterans. Hey there. So thank you for that. Our staff works very hard to get events like that pulled together and ensure that we're all there comfortable and safe, and I thank you for that. We appreciate the police, fire, parks and rec, utility workers, everybody for what you do. With that, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Ronnie, you want to do the invocation? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for another beautiful day you've given us. We thank you for the blessings of life. We pray, Lord, that you will be with the veterans throughout our country, those that are serving now and the ones that have served. We thank you to be with the families of the ones that have given the ultimate sacrifice. Be with us tonight. Give us the wisdom to conduct the town's business. We give you the praise and glory for it all. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. If you have a cell phone, we would ask that you turn it on silent so that we can give you our undivided attention and you can give us yours. So thank you for doing that. Council members, you've been provided copies of the October 28th meeting minutes. Do you have any changes, deletions, or additions?
I've already mentioned that to Virginia, and she said she'd
Okay.
do it.
All right. Any further? I need a motion to approve with the, can you make the motion with the change, please, ma'am?
I'd like to make that motion with the change that Rodney has requested.
Thank you.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those by show of hands, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Thank you so much. Public comment. Pursuant to Section 246 of the Code of Ordinances for the Town of Fort Mill, any resident may appear before council for the purpose of providing public comments on any municipal matter except personnel. Those who wish to speak must sign the public comment sheet prior to the start of the meeting. Mr. Broom, do we have a sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Miss Carol Mason McMeekin, would you join us at the podium? Good afternoon.
Council, thank you very much. My name is Carol Mason McMeekin, and I actually came tonight to make a few comments regarding annexation and rezoning you're considering over on Smythe Road. I don't live there, but I have close family and friends there. And so just wanted to make a couple of comments regarding it. Just for a little background's sake, most of you probably know Smythe Road's a little small road. There are 4 houses that actually face it. And it's kind of a tight little community. And just recently, one of the owners wanted to sell his property. And didn't go well for a while, and then it found out he was going to sell it to something that would become commercial, which concerned all of the residents. And unfortunately, he created some ill will in the neighborhood, sort of alienating and badgering and even threatening some of the residents. So the neighbors who had been considerate to him for a long time sort of bowed their backs up. However, the Sparks, who are planning to put a memory care center on Smythe Road, right across the street. Well, one person will face the front, the other one to the side, and one's a little above it. They did engage the residents. They did a very good job of assuring compatibility of the project. They presented their intentions to respect, the community and embrace the residential status of the residents. They also explained that their plan was to demolish the house, which they had before that thought they were going to renovate the house that was currently there. But anyway, that they would demolish that house and build an existing house that would not look like a facility, but would look like a single-family home in every way. And the design, construction, and landscape of which would be of the highest standard. This presentation that the SPARS gave to the members of the community, I think expel most of the concerns about parking, shift work, and people driving in and out, and safety. So all that being said, the neighborhood accepts the fact that it's changing out on Sutton Road, behind them a business park on the other side. However, this is still a family community. These people consider this their home and have family ideals and values. So what would like to be said is that the town take into consideration a couple of things. First of all, we'd like for the town's close oversight over the design to ensure compatibility. Full disclosure and discussion to the neighbors regarding renderings and the opportunity to review prior to the finalization of plans. Though they showed a beautiful facility to the residents, everyone's aware that was a mock-up. It was not what they're planning. They didn't have any drawings at that time, but it yet resembled what they planned to build there. Secondly, the town's careful supervision regarding the site plan, grading, and drainage plans. Excuse me. Full disclosure of the site plans and elevations made available to the residents. This is a serious matter. There's already a water problem there and drainage problem. It drains down on 658 Smythe Road and causes a great deal of damage. Actually, gravel has to be replaced, it erodes. So when we're looking at them going over there, possibly changing elevation, putting in, there's no pavement currently on that site. Putting in pavement, digging, grading, all these things are going to do could make a big impact on the drainage situation. And we don't want to see anything like that happen. Also, I'm not sure what happens, because this will be in the town, but the road, I guess, will still be in the county. Is that how that happens?
It can. There are many county roads in town.
That's what I thought. So we're involving two, because one side will be in the city and the other side of the road where the drainage is all coming is going to be in the county. So all of this is why we'd like for this to be looked at very carefully. And as I said, there's already been damage to the existing property at 658. So all of this being said, with these considerations acknowledged and the SPARS being true to their word about what they plan to do, the neighbors of Smythe Road do not oppose the annexation or the rezoning.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Very thorough. There are no further folks signed up to speak, so we will move straight into presentations. Presentation number 1, Employee of the Quarter, Raymond Williams with Public Works. Davey Broom will be presenting.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to call Raymond Williams to the front, please. And Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to do this from behind the podium because my voice doesn't always carry. Raymond, come around here if you want to. Whenever I stand up there, any other time when I do the Employee of the Quarter. I am here, I enjoy doing these, and I'm extremely excited about the one tonight. Raymond has been with us and has been employed with the town since 2004. All of the time with the Public Works Department. And I could spend the next few hours going on about what a great person Raymond is and valuable employee and teammate that he is. I will share the information that was sent on him as far as his, someone speaking about having him be represented as the Employee of the Quarter. It says, Raymond is always willing to help anyone in the town. He does his job with a smile on his face and always so gracious. Raymond works very hard to get the job done and is a role model for great work ethic in his department. And it pretty much says it all in one paragraph there. But I also want to add that he has been with the Public Works Department. He's a crew leader in the maintenance department of Public Works. His entire career, he's been a great ambassador for the town of Fort Mill. He's appreciated by all town departments. And he is available at all times. And if I had $1 for every time that I have called him and say, Raymond, I've got a favor. I need you to do me a favor. We could be well off. But, and he's Mr. Do-It-All. And I think Mr. Huntley would be the first one to admit that Raymond does everything for the town and does a great job in everything that he does. He's
I
spoken.
don't have to admit it.
But you
Claim it,
have,
Larry.
you have told everyone about that. So just a quick tidbit on Raymond himself. In 2004, I will say, since this is the holiday season and we're adding Christmas decorations to downtown Fort Mill, he was one of only two employees back in 2004 that was putting all the lights up in Fort Mill. So we've come a long way as a department and as a town, but yes, in 2004, he was one of two that did that by themselves.
Throwing them up on the tree.
Absolutely. So, and did a great job at that then, and is still hanging Christmas lights, right? Absolutely. So with that, I'd like to present you with the Employee of the Quarter Award, and we will take a picture if that's okay.
That's fine.
You can step up here for that.
Smile big. I guess it-
I'll stand up. It's only Chris.
Bring Robert Duck back in.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make two comments.
Yes, sir.
One night, we were discussing, I guess OSHA or something, and I happened to mention in the men's room, it was in violation of OSHA rules because there was no coat hanger on the back of the door. And when the meeting was over, Raymond come up and said, "Go look at that bathroom." And he had already put a hanger. And the second thing is, when Raymond retires, I've already got a resolution drawn up that we will disband the town of Fort Mill.
Yeah. I would like to comment as well. Raymond, it's as Mr. Broom said, he never says no. He doesn't know the meaning of the word no or can't. He is there regardless of the task at hand. He is always eager to do the task. For those of you that ride up and down Main Street, the banners, the flowers, the potted plants, this gentleman keeps up with those. And it's in addition to the other work that he does. He is amazing, and I want to apologize publicly to you. You make it look so good, I keep asking for more, you know? So he keeps adding lights. I go, wow, that's great. Let's do some more. So I'm probably at the root of extra work for you, Raymond. But it's so important to know that we have employees we trust and that we share respect for, and we respect you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you. That was a happy item. All right, old business items. Old business item number 1, second reading. An ordinance to convey by quitclaim deed the interest of the town of Fort Mill that has in a portion of the property located on North Doby's Bridge Road in the town of Fort Mill, South Carolina, Ward 4, Mr. Moody. Chris Pettit is our expert. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to accept old business item number 1.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Moody, has anything changed since the first Pettit? Sorry, Mr. Moody, has anything changed since the first? Mr. Pettit, has anything changed?
Since first reading.
All right. Any further questions, comments?
Any concerns from anyone in the public?
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor by show of hands, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Thank you. New business item number 1. First reading and public hearing. So we will open the public hearing first. An ordinance annexing York County Tax Map Number 661-0000-033, located at 655 Smythe Road and containing approximately .918 plus or minus acres. This is in Ward Number 1, Mr. Showery's ward, and Penelope is our subject matter expert. We will now officially open the public hearing on this item. And Carol Mason, I think you spoke to it earlier in the public comments. Does anyone else have something they need to ask or say? Going once?
Could I say something?
You're a member of the public, yeah.
All right. Just
As
wanna
well
know.
as the council.
No, Smythe Circle, I lived there underneath the, not, I guess literally underneath Ted and Brenda Stegall for 5 years, right there on the corner. So I understand the close-knit community you guys have there. I lived there for 5 years, right, when I moved to Fort Mill in 2001. And, yeah, I appreciate you bringing your concerns to us tonight, so thank you.
Hearing that?
I was glad to see how the new owners are reaching out to the,
Absolutely. I was going to compliment that as well. Thank you so much for being involved enough to gather the information that was important to you. And I do compliment the folks that are coming into that area for reaching out and communicating with you. That should happen more frequently, and I'm really grateful that it has. So I think it makes for a much more successful project for everyone involved. So thank you for that. So we're going to end the public meeting if no one...
I have one.
Yes.
Do we know how many bedrooms the Bell Crane operates with when it's up and running?
It doesn't do.
It doesn't do
I
that.
thought it
I
did a
don't think.
B&B.
It did at one
Well,
time.
it did at one time, but I don't think it is now.
Okay, public hearing is now officially closed. Do I have a motion on this item?
I make a motion to accept new business item number 1.
Do I have a second?
second,
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Ms. Penelope, would you like to speak with us just a little bit?
Good evening.
evening.
This is an annexation request from Jason Sparks on behalf of Mark and Deidre Tidwell. This property is about an acre, and the current zoning is RC1 in the county, and what they're requesting with this annexation is for general residential. It's for about a 13-bed residential care facility. That is an allowable, it's a conditional use in the actual general residential district, which the condition is basically they have to conform to the requirements of South Carolina Department of Health and Environment Control. They have gone through the process through Planning Commission. Planning Commission made a recommendation to approve. There was not a TIA needed because it did not generate the trips for us to require a traffic impact analysis. And we have recommended approval. Just since there were some comments, public comments, if I may address,
Please.
The design compatibility as Ms. McNicken had stated, basically, when you go through a new process of commercial appearance review, that will go to the Planning Commission, and that's where we have the actual design and elevation. Once that gets approved, for her next question about grading and the issues with drainage, it goes through construction document phases. I did also have another citizen, Jordan Howe, call me this morning mentioning to me about the drainage issue, and I did notify Greg Rushing, and so we're gonna, from utilities, and we'll be looking at that. But any new building that they are proposing, they have to go through the commercial appearance review and new construction document phase.
Excellent. I think it's important to note, since Carol Mason did ask several things be provided to the existing residents. I don't know that that is a condition that I'm aware of that we can put on them. I think that we can certainly have authority to work with them through the Planning Commission and through the guidance that we have on what they agree to do. But as far as sharing it with everyone, that's up to the owner of the land. I don't think we can force that. Am I correct?
That is correct. They can always fill out a FOIA information, a Freedom of Information Act, to get copies.
Okay.
But the neighbors have been communicating with me, and so they're more than welcome to call me time to time to see where the process is.
She's wonderful
with the
to
design.
work with. If Penelope is really good to work with, so by all means, she will be an open channel for you to ask questions. The gentleman over here in the gray shirt, looking studious, would you stand up? This is Greg Rushing. Not only is he working in our utilities department, but he's an engineer, and he understands and applies the state's requirements on stormwater. He knows this runoff issue inside out. So we do have two people that will be more than happy to work with you as an intermediary to understand what's happening and what we can and can't require. So hopefully that will be a good thing for you. So Penelope, if you'll just keep up the good communications work with them, that would be wonderful.
One thing, Penelope, when I mean, just since it's in a, I know that tonight it's just an annexation request, but once it comes before, you mentioned for review, I mean, will it be more, you know, I'm really sensitive to that area because there's nothing but residential homes around it. I mean, and will that, I know we would have to probably require that to be similar to what's laid out there currently. I don't want it to look like a center block building around
Sure.
all these people's homes.
Sure,
You know?
and then they also are part of the corridor node. That zoning
Right.
designation is part of that, so there'll be regulations for that. But when we look at the commercial appearance review, we look at elevations, and it needs to be compatible with the general area.
Okay.
So Mr. Sparks did say that he's gonna rebuild it for 13 beds, but it's gonna look like a house.
Good.
It's not gonna look like a commercial.
Good.
And it's primarily for memory care facility is what he's advocating to propose for that site.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
General residential. I had not seen that term until you sent the information out to us. What is that? Have you already mentioned that?
Well, like the Bell Crane Inn, when we
Okay.
annexed it back in 2014, that's the designation. So it's basically residential uses are allowed, but then you also have certain uses like the residential care facility, bed and breakfasts are allowed. It's just another residential component that allows a little bit more uses, sort of like the residential care facility or the bed or private or semi-private clubs or lodges are allowed in the general residential.
Thank you.
Further questions for Penelope?
And additional expenses, I noticed in the comments, no water or sewer, any of that, is that correct?
Based on, we have to go through the process, so we will have the necessary agencies to review that as we're reviewing the construction document. So it's not, we don't know at this time, but I believe Ben Wright was telling me that with the new Charlotte Nose and Ear Throat office, there's a way to connect the sewer across Sutton Road to this site.
And what is that they've been laying through down Sutton? Is that water line or sewer?
It
Do we
might
know?
be sewer.
Okay. Because I know they've been literally digging through those people's front yards. And Ted and Brenda's were one of the yards, Just had a backhoe sitting there for like a month and where they've been having to lay that. So, all right.
Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the table to approve on first reading, please, by show of hands, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Thank you so very much. New business item number 2. First reading, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances for the Town of Fort Mill, Chapter 6, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 2, Technical Codes, Section 6-26, Adoption of Standard Codes, so as to adopt the most up-to-date versions of the following codes, including all South Carolina modifications. The Internal Building Code, International, I should read that right, internal building, whoa. International Building Code, International Residential Code, International Existing Building Code, International Fire Code, International Plumbing Code, International Mechanical Code, International Fuel Gas Code, International Energy Conservation Code, National Electrical Code, International Property Maintenance Code, International Swimming Pool and Spa Code, and International Performance Code for Buildings and Facilities. Our expert on this is Chris Pettit. Do I have a motion to open this
I
item?
make a motion to accept new business item number 2.
I have a motion to accept and a second. Chris?
Mayor, I apologize for having you read quite a long paragraph there,
That's
but
okay.
In very simple terms, the state tells us what building codes we have to follow, and we have to update those every few years, and it's our time to update our building codes to the 2018 version of those codes that would go into effect January 1st, 2020 statewide with this ordinance.
Okay. For those of you that are unfamiliar with why this is important, you might remember back the first hailstorm that we had, the one that was just epic to me. I've never seen anything like that. We had quite a few folks come into town very quickly with a pickup truck and some shingles. And they did not have the right certification or apply themselves to the right code. And our building code officials went out and stopped this, or it would have been inferior and not what the good folks that were buying it thought they were. So building codes are necessary so that it can protect the homeowner, the residents, the commercial, to ensure that they're getting what is the current code for safety, longevity. You're getting what you're paying for. So it is important, and as this is state mandated, we don't have a choice in this case.
Correct.
Any further questions?
Chris, how will this impact any current projects that are in front of us?
Anything that already has a permit would be grandfathered in under the codes in which it was permitted under, but this would go into effect January 1st, 2020, so anything new would be permitted with these new codes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Hearing none, the motion on the table is to approve. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Thank you so much. Information and discussion. Item number 1, discussion regarding the awarding of rural infrastructure grant for the lift station in the amount of $500,000. Greg Rushing. Greg, this is a big hoo-yah.
Please come.
Well, I've got to update you on everything.
Good news.
Before we even get to that. Good evening. If you recall, back in April, you granted us authority to execute the sanitary sewer evaluation study and the 2019 lift station rehabilitation project. Pleased to tell you we've already gotten both back. We got the evaluation study back this morning. It only has about 20 pages worth of Excel files to go through, so that's going to take us a while to finish up. The lift station design, we have 3 pump stations, or lift stations, according to how detailed you get. Charlotte Highway, Poplar, and Archie. All 3 of them are in desperate need for rehabilitation. We got Goodwin Mills and Kaywood GMC out of Greenville to do that project. And once the design is complete on all 3 of them, we packaged, in addition with Grazier Ray at COG, to go for another Rural Infrastructure Authority grant. You recall the water tank is on a drinking water grant right now, and we are capable of doing 2 grants as long as they're in water and the other is in sewer. We were awarded, when did we get the letter? Monday?
Yes.
Last Monday? We were awarded $500,000 from the Rural Infrastructure Authority to do Poplar and Charlotte Highway. We'll hold Archie out for next year and try it again. But everybody did a great job of packaging this. Davey and Shantae had to sign everything they could possibly get their hands on, and Grazier put it all together to submit to the Rural Infrastructure Authority, and we're just ready to proceed. We're going through the permitting process now.
Congratulations. That's always good news for the town and its people when we're able to produce an award-winning package and get $500,000. So thank you very much. Any questions for Greg?
You mentioned the water tower.
Mm-hmm.
It's all up and running now.
Not quite. You recall when we shut the water down last Saturday night, we have the tie-in done to get the water supply to the tank. The concrete is done. And now they're building the steel tank itself around the base of the concrete tower. And when they're done with that, they'll jack it all the way to the top and put the lid on it.
All right.
So we're looking at December or January when they're, that should be online.
Excellent.
I would like to commend staff for the communications efforts. We were unable to do the interruption to service the first time because of the weather. Can't control that. But I was very impressed to see the signs along 21, the communications that went about, and how quickly and nimbly we were able to ensure that we had the best message out. Then you turned right around and did it again the next weekend. So thank you so much. That
Our
matters.
crews were on it, very conscious of keeping service to as many people as we could. So there was a great plan put together by the operators on this one.
It really was. Thank you so much.
And how quickly do we think we can apply for the grant for Archie for next year? Just looking ahead with that
We
project.
can't have 2 of the same type grants at the same time. So it's according to how soon we can get it out to bid on this project. If we finish up, and finishing up is a process unto itself. If we can get it done by the time they advertise for the next round of grants, we can put in for it. Again, this was September or so when the deadline was. It'll be pushing it, I'll put it that way. We would be probably available for a water grant again, as we anticipate the tank being done January or February.
So
But,
the lift station projects could go under either? Then
No,
that's
no.
what- Okay, it could still
sewer,
only
our
be under sewer.
exclusively.
Okay, gotcha. Just making sure.
Greg, Charlotte Highway, you referring to Business 21?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, that's the name of the lift station there, Charlotte Highway.
It's called Charlotte Highway, but it's actually Old Nation Road.
It was Charlotte Highway when I grew up.
Me too.
We can just call it Charlotte.
Me too.
That's all right, the Poplar
We got
pump
Archie and
station is
Charlotte.
is nowhere near Poplar Street anymore, so.
Gotcha.
No, but that's near my house.
Any further questions for Greg?
Great job.
Thank you, Greg. Great job. Great job. I would like to take advantage of everyone in the room before we move into our executive session to remind everyone we won't have another nighttime meeting prior to our tree lighting event on Main Street. That will occur on December the 5th, which is a Thursday. It's one of my favorite events of the year. We do a fabulous job with the decorations downtown. The children from the schools participate. They sing. We've had snow for the last 2 years, maybe not from the clouds, but from the corner of the stage. We've done a really good job. It's a lot of fun. Hot chocolate. I know that the Main Street merchants are also doing something from 5 to 7. So please come down and enjoy the hard work that everyone puts into making our downtown a destination and a beautiful event for all. So that will occur again, Main Street, December the 5th, which is a Thursday. The tree lighting ceremonies begin at 7 p.m. This will also run on the government channel, so you have a reminder. And I believe we're going to put it on the website and the Facebook as well. Shortly following that, on Saturday morning, December the 7th, at 11 a.m., we will begin our annual Christmas parade. So someone at our Veterans Memorial this morning was a little confused and thought we had a Veterans Parade. It is a Christmas parade. So we look forward to seeing you. It's a festive time for the community. Lots of families come out. It's a lot of fun for everyone.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine, and we've seen a little of both. And snow. And lastly, last week there was a story that was run about some work that the county is doing to try to better manage some growth in the Lake Wiley area. I had opportunity to address 2 of our county council members. You may or may not know, but there are 3 county council members that serve the town of Fort Mill, or that represent the town of Fort Mill: Joel Hamilton, Christy Cox, and Michael Johnson. And I asked them about this process and wanted to know, would we be allowed to do the same? So we have asked staff to begin finding what we need to do. Christy and Michael were in attendance and they agreed. So it could result in some action that we've been unable to do to this point, as far as holding off on approving apartments, townhomes, condos, some things like that for a period of time. So don't want to make promises we can't keep, but we have not had that opportunity in the past. We do now. So we are pursuing that, and our staff is looking forward to bringing us some information from the county on if and when that might occur. So just wanted you to know that we are looking at that. And we did have agreement from the county councilman members present to do so. With that, we'll move into, we do have an executive session tonight for a discussion incident to personnel matters. We do come back in, make it known that we do not vote in executive session. We will return to regular session afterwards. It is just an opportunity for us to have what we need from a privacy standpoint on personnel matters. So with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second it.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Thank you so very much. Okay. Let the record reflect that no vote or action was taken during the executive session. Can I have a motion to return to regular session?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Thank you. Okay. We did a lot of work tonight. We did well. I appreciate it. I can't tell you how grateful I am to do this and stupid, another 4 years. I've been calling it a 4-year sentence today. But if it weren't for all of you, it would not be of interest to me at all. So thank you for what you do for this community, and I think we're gonna have a bright future. I'm happy about it. Since there's no one here, Larry, do you have anything for the good of the order?
We are still
Yes.
videotaped though,
Yes.
so.
I'd like to make a comment about the scarecrows.
Yes,
I was amazed, first of all, the number of people that came to see those
it was
things.
amazing.
And I had a woman call me from Blacksburg. Wanted to know when's the best time to come, and she wanted me to send her a menu from the oboes. And I was just very, I almost called 911 because I thought there was a terrible accident or something, all them people out there.
Well, I'm hoping, talked with Davey a little bit about, we can't do it this year, it's too late in the year, but hopefully at Christmas next year, maybe we can do trees or doors, you know, and have some lights on them for people to see during the Christmas, build up to Christmas. So it'd be kind of intriguing, and you're right, I've had a lot of comments from people about how great it makes our community and our downtown. So, good work, very good work. Jamie?
I have to agree with Larry. Every year, I guess the creativity of everybody in this town, it just amazes me at how many creative people are here and all the cool things that they dream up to put into that little event. I mean, it's really grown into something spectacular. And as I said before, congratulations on your guys' wins. I look forward to serving with you guys for the next 4 years. We got a lot of stuff on our plate, but we've also accomplished a lot of things. And it's been a pleasure. I'm glad it gets to continue.
Thank you. Thank you. Lisa?
I'm glad I get to serve again. Continue to do the work for the town. I think one thing that we all can say, as well as the others that ran, is we're very passionate about Fort Mill. We love this town, and we want to continue seeing the southern charm that we've all grown accustomed to, and look forward to serving with you guys.
Thank you. Trudy?
I'm just glad I'm gonna have the privilege of serving with the 4 of you again
Thank you.
for at least 2 more years, anyway.
Thank you, Trudy. Chris?
Glad to be back for another term. Appreciate everybody's votes. Was able to go to my parents' house in Dillon, South Carolina this weekend. My son and my wife had the kids for the last 9 weekends alone, so she said, I'm going to be alone and you take the kids with you. So I did that, and we all came back alive and no bones were broken. But my son and I just, it was cool just to get out. We walked and on our farm, our family farm, showed him where, you know, different things and memories happen, you know, kind of just, we walked in the woods, and I said, just stop talking and let's just listen and just be still. And I just, you know, did a lot of soul searching and feel like, you know, it was a great time when you haven't been home in 6 months, just to see family and go to a birthday party. And but I love Fort Mill. I've said this, that I ride down Main Street in my hometown and all the buildings are boarded up, and you look down at what we have here, and there's hundreds of small towns in this state that would love to have what we have here. I mean, it's an honor to live in this town. It really is. We have the best school district in the state.
You got across the border.
You know, but you know, I'm just thankful that I'm able to sit up here with you guys another 4 years. So thank you.
Thank you. Ronnie?
I'm glad to be here another 4 years. The only bad thing is I'll be 75 in the next election.
Absolutely.
So,
Now look at this guy down there. He's 71.
but it is a pleasure of mine to serve the constituents of Fort Mill. And as I said this morning, I'm a proud American and a proud vet to be able to be here in Fort Mill and the United States.
Well, I reiterate each of the sentiments that each of you have. It is truly a pleasure to serve with you, and I'm grateful for that. I would like to give a shout out to, it just seems like our children in this community just continue to win accolades in everything they do. We've had bands win state championships. We've had volleyball teams win state championships. We've had golf teams go to the state for the first time. It's incredible, the energy and the talent that we have in this community, and I'm really grateful for all the effort that the parents and those kids put forth. So with that, I'll entertain a
And the
motion
proof
for.
of that was a little girl that sang this
Oh,
morning.
was that little girl just amazing? That was one of the most beautiful renditions of the Star Spangled Banner I've ever heard. It just,
Who
It
was
was
she?
very easy to tear up listening to
wasn't it,
her.
though?
It was such
it
a
was just
perspective.
beautiful. We're
What-
very
What
blessed.
was her name? I was not there.
I'll have to look on my
Okay.
agenda, but she goes to TKK Elementary.
Okay.
She was dressed like an angel and had a voice that was just incredible. Never
She
heard it
put
done
her
any
little-
better.
Her little southern charm on a couple of those
Yep,
notes.
never heard it any better. All right,
Well,
I'll
and thank you to all the veterans too. I know
Oh,
this will be
absolutely.
delayed, but without them, and I know we have many within all of our departments here,
Yep.
as
And
well
don't
as on
forget it's No
council.
Shave November. Bring awareness
Well,
to
can you tell?
bring awareness to cancer.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of good things, and I think
Yeah,
this is the month
purple
to be
month- Purple
thankful.
month too.
Yeah, it's the month to be thankful, and I'm thankful for you all. How about that adjournment motion?
I'll
I'll
make
make
the
that
motion. we
motion.
adjourn. I'll
Second.
second then.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Thank you very much.